creating jobs and opportunities for our young population is also a top priority. In this regard, we will target manufacturing.
All right, so it is something that the Jubilee government has been singing since 2013, is how it will, or how it plans to create employment for young people. So tonight, if you're just joining us here on KTN News, we want to talk about your expectations for the incoming government. What are your thoughts? We really want to hear from you. So make sure you're tweeting us at KTN News, at Zinzi_K, at Brian_Aseli, hashtag Youth Cafe, so we can keep a track on your tweets. Allow me to introduce the panel once again this evening. Seated closer to me is Edith Wangare, who is a businesswoman, and seated close to Edith Wangare, he's a man who needs no introduction to this nation. It's Mudhira Carriera, who is a politician, but also the former running mate to presidential candidate Japheth Kaluyu. It's so good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Aseli, on your end?
Mina kwambia udem ni public consultant, financial consultant.
Are you sure you know what you're saying, Aseli?
Nakwambia hizo mawadi zimekamivi kibao nikasema hey manzijo hapa ni kunoma. Lakini pia anaitwa Wangare Mwikia. Karibu sana studio. Na leo ni Wangare na mzee wetu wa Kawangware. Uko fiti?
Nile ngeli ya re.
Ngeli ya re.
I love that.
Nakwambia ni kumoto, wacha tuanze hii conversation.
All right, so you've had President Uhuru Kenyatta there talking about how they want to create, again, millions of jobs for young Kenyans. Before we even jump into 2017, 2022, have they already been able to even hit the target that they had promised Kenyans back in 2013, as that they would create millions of jobs? I'll start with you, Wangare, since you are within the public, you're a public financial consultant. These promises that we're seeing Uhuru make from an employment point of view, are they doable? Because really they keep saying that, you know, we will give millions of jobs and we will create opportunities and reduce unemployment. Is it doable, or are they just aiming too high?
Yes, of course it's doable. You just have to tap into the right sectors and you have to tap into the right areas to unlock this potential. Let me give you some facts. Globally, there are about 1.1 billion youth in the world. It's about 30% of the world's population, which is the largest youth population ever. In Kenya, from ages 15 to 30, ages 15 to 30 make up about 60% of the labor workforce, of the labor. So you can imagine this is a very prescient issue for Kenya. 60% of the workforce are highly unemployed. I'm not finding fulfillment in the current economy, and the opportunities are not presenting themselves. And I think it's up to the government that we have today to unlock the potential. We're getting into technology. We're moving into, we're now having visa-free borders. What are we doing to prepare ourselves to enter into this new global economy?
Wangari, I'm glad that you tapped on economy. I will come to Mudhira and Edith to hear their point, but I don't want to lose your track. I'm glad you brought up the issue of the economy and where we are as a nation, saying that yes, what the Jubilee government has promised is doable. However, look at our debt. From 2013 to 2017, it's almost doubled. From about 3 trillion, we're about to hit 6 trillion in no time. That's our government debt. And you know where it's going to come from? Us. We're the ones who are going to start paying it. Our kids are going to pay those same debts, you know, be it China or to Brazil or to the US government. You still think, and I'm glad you mentioned that we should tap into certain industries. Yeah. With this current debt, you believe that the Jubilee government will do better in terms of the economy?
You know, in order to grow, you need to borrow. And when you get those finances, what we need to really look into is what we're using those finances for. If we're using that money to pay salaries, we're using that money to, settle recurrent expenditures, then that would be a big concern. But we're using that money for infrastructure. We're using that money, if we're putting that money into sectors that are going to grow and actually generate revenue for generations to come, then we wouldn't be that concerned, because then we are creating revenue sources from which we can now tap into and now pay the debt. Right. So what we need to do is really watch where we're investing in. Are we putting the money where in areas that are going to generate revenues, double or triple-fold what we've invested in them? Most of the international organizations, IMF and the World Bank, still think that we're within the range of, a safe range of borrowing for the investments that we're putting in. So I think for now we need to keep an eye on our debt, but I think we're putting it in the right areas.
Edith, you're nodding in agreement. your thoughts on definitely the economy and what President Uhuru Kenyatta is promising Kenyans, especially young Kenyans, that they will handle, and I mean the Jubilee government will handle unemployment and creating job opportunities for young people.
Well, I say this, Zinzi, as a job creator, as you know. I've created thousands of jobs. And for me, I think that Uhuru's strategy is quite smart. I don't know if anyone picked on it, but he's quite smart in what he's done. Because what he's decided to do is make us an open economy. And I'll use the example of France, which has GDP of 2.42 trillion US dollars. Yeah, which is quite high. They're like number 7 out of all the economies. And they're the most visited country globally. Most visited, completely open. And I think if his strategy is really to increase jobs, to increase our liquidity, to increase our solvency, then his approach is amazing. Because sometimes the job creation will not always come from the people who are currently here. I mean, Kenyans, we're doing well, but we're lacking in our technology. Yeah, we're lacking in our innovations. So why not open up the economy as what he's decided to do and allow for other African people to come in with new ideas, come in with innovation. Ideas equals business and job opportunities.
Mimi nataka kujua hizo vitu zote ni vitu poa sana, lakini kuna wasee mtaani wanazusha wanasema kama si wenyewe hatuna job, wasee watoke nje tena wadunge job hapa hivi wa get do tena warudi invest kwa country zao. Mudhira nataka unibongeshe. Acha nirushe hiyo swali kando kiasi. Mudhira nataka unibongeshe. Wewe unafilaje kuhusu yenye hivi vile prezo amesema ata allow other Africans kukuja hapa hivi Kenya wadunge biz pia?
Reality ni hivi, Kenya ina potential, and sometimes to unlock that potential the key may not be with us. We need investors.
But hiyo kia tujaikuwa nayo.
We need expertise. Because
sikia wachinku ama wa Chinese au ndio ushinda wamekama hapa kuunda barabara. Engineers, maboys wetu wenye wanafanya engineering, wao ufanya nini after wamemaliza chuo? Una get? Vitu kibao hizi infrastructure, vitu kama hizo tunataka kujua hizi jobs sisi hatujakuwa tukizifanya from tene. Mbona saa hii tuongezewa other Africans kwa hii nchi wakuja tena wadunge works zenye hatuna hata in the first place?
Okay, even ndo iko na nitaisema kweli manake I know what the reality is. Our institutions are not equipping our youth with the right skills. That's why someone has a degree in engineering, but we have to hire someone else with a similar accreditation to come do the same job. So shida iko kwa institutions zetu. So that needs to be addressed kabisa comprehensively. Now, that doesn't mean we don't have a job to do. We have a job to do, and that's why it should be acceptable for someone else with the right expertise to be given an opportunity to move us forward. Venye umeona KQ wamefanya juzi. Sio kwamba tuna MD wa kutosha. Tunao, lakini mwenye anatosha kwa sasa hivi ni huyu ambaye walileta. Similar case unaona team Harambee Stars imekuwa iperform. Tumekuwa na coach wetu homegrown Stanley Okumbi. But ikafika mahali wakasema tunahitaji kuleta mtaalam, mtu ana experience ya kutosha. Sasa chenye president alisema na shukuru, manake hakufungua border zetu to nations beyond Africa. Alisema East Africa. Sisi ni jamii moja. Kama unaona unaweza na kuna nafasi hapa, njoo tushikane mikono, tusonge pamoja. Now, something you need to pay attention to is the approach they have taken this time. Hakusema tutakuwa na program ya NYS venye wamefanya before. Kazi kwa vijana, ile mnapewa kazi za mkono, nini. Amefocus kwamba ili Kenya ikue, we need to expand our manufacturing sector. Unaona, they're not pumping in money, they're creating a conducive environment for that sector to expand. And on that, I say, kudos, Mr. President. That's the right approach.
Haya basi, wacha tutarudi kwa hii conversation, lakini kila wiki siwenda mtaani ku make sure that tuna get hii conversation, tunabongesha wasee mtaani. So this week tulienda Nyeri, tukakutana na wasee, sikia story ya sikia points zao on the same topic.
Wakati hii serikali ya Jubilee ilianza hii safari, kwanza wakati walisema wataleta masomo ya bure, tunaiona hiyo masomo ya bure iko, free maternity iko, na mambo mengi imefanyika. Yale yote walituahidi tumeyaona. Kama leo tumeona wakijenga na wakifungua juzi, na sasa ile ingine wamesema watamalizia. Tuko na uhakika watamalizia, sababu tumeona wameanza safari na wachaanza, na watamalizia, na tuko na hakika na wao watafanya hizo zote.
Sisi tunafurahia kwa sababu ya kuwa na serikali mpya kutoka siku ya jana na kuanza muhula mwingine wa pili na rais wetu Uhuru Kenyatta. Lakini kuna jambo sisi tunasema kama vijana wa watu wachanga, kwa sababu tuko na matatizo kwenye biashara zetu. Kija kama kwa hii upande wa pikipiki, unakuja unakuta mafuta imeongezwa, unafanya kazi ambayo unajikuta unafanya kazi ya kuzunguka, hakuna kitu unaingiza. Then unakuta sisi kama vijana tunaharasiwa sana na maisha. Tukiomba serikali itufikirie sana kwa upande wa ushuru, ituangushie mafuta. Then kama motorbike ukienda kununua wakati huu imeongezwa, si kama kitambo, unaenda unakuta imeongezwa na 5,000 juu.
Sisi ni wakulima na tumeahidiwa mambo mengi. Tukaambiwa wakati tutalima mazao yetu tutapata mahali pa kupeleka ama pa kuuza, kwa sababu sana unakuta tukilima mazao yetu inaweza kuwa wakati mwingine hatuna mahali pa kuuza, kwa sababu soko za hapa ni dogo, sio kubwa. Sababu tunashuhudia mengine, kama unaona umelima boga, mengine zinakuwa zimeharibikia kwa shamba, kwa sababu huwezi toka huku kuipeleka bari. Lakini ukifikiriwa sana kwa ya soko hapa, inaweza tusaidia ili tukapate mazao ama mafuno bora, na watusaidie katika mandawa ama katika fertilizer ili tukaweza kulima.
Haya, umecheki vile Nyeri watu wamebonga. Tunataka kurudi hapa hivi ndani ya studio, tunataka kujua what next after Uhuru amekuwa inaugurated. So tunataka kwenda kwa the other side of the coin. Zinzi, sijui kama unataka flip your coin.
Yes. So we've said fantastic job that the Jubilee government is doing. Let us open our borders. But security, it's one thing to open our borders, it's another thing to also put measures in place to make sure there's security. That's one, because we're very prone to it, just like any other country. But also we don't want negative business coming in, e.g. we don't want to see poaching increasing, because poachers are now able to roam up and down. Drug cartels, it's easy to move up and down the borders. So there's the bad part, the bad part, which is the security aspect, as well as also making sure that we want to attract the right kind of business. Wangari, what do you think?
Well, I think when you look at it, the negatives, the positives outweigh the negatives, to be honest. Yes, you need to make sure that once you open your borders, that you have strong security measures in order to, make sure that the undesirables are not coming into the country. But by the same token, we're going to increase tourism, we're going to increase investment, and this is just not a one-way street. This is actually the visa-free borders is an AU initiative. And so a lot of African countries are now opening their borders. So that means that us Kenyans, we can go to Cape Verde, we can go to Ethiopia, we can go to Botswana and invest. And sometimes we're known in the region for being very strong, a strong economy, and we have great thinkers. And why not go to other countries to put our monies there and invest in other countries? So I think on the whole, yes, we need to make sure that we are mitigating for the risks, but I think the positives greatly outweigh the negatives.
What would you think some of those risks are, very quickly?
The risks are, the things like you said, drug, some illegal trade, illegal goods, poaching, anti-terrorism, risk. I know we're bordering Somalia and we've had a lot of issues with them. But we have to have specific policies. And, the visa is not just a carte blanche. There are people who will be granted visas at the borders. Some people will be granted restricted visas, up to 10 days, 30 days, whatever, that kind of restriction. So it's not just you arrive at the border and then you can come and roam freely for many years. There are certain restrictions that you have to abide by.
Okay. Yeah. Muthira, you are a politician, but also the former president, running mate for presidential candidate, Japhet Kaluyu. If you were seated or advising Uhuru Kenyatta, what would you have done differently or be telling him?
Well, I would ask him to focus mostly on, first and foremost, making sure that every Kenyan feels that they belong here, that they have a stake in this nation. Everyone needs to come on board. That's important. Now, how we do that is we address the people who feel disenfranchised. There is a lie that has been sold out there that there are communities that have been favored over time and others have been marginalized. And that's far from the truth. Because you take, for instance, Baringo. They had a president for 24 years, but Baringo is amongst the 5 poorest counties in Kenya. So being close to power sometimes doesn't necessarily translate into resources being deployed to those areas. So it's very important for the president to come out and make Kenyans see that he is a president for us all, because that's how everyone is going to give their heart out into building this nation.
Nataka tu Wangari uniambie kitu moja.
Mimi?
Ile Wangari dread, okay, sawa. So Wangari, campaign strategies za wase wetu mostly ni kujideclare political leaders from particular tribes. Kenya, whether we like it or not, is after elections, do you feel like tumekuwa more divided than ever ama tumerudi kwa kimoja? Because after cases kama Kisumu, hatuwezi lenga Kisumu kile ilifanyika, hatuwezi lenga vitu zenye zofanyika Ongwaro, Mathare, unaget? Na is the nation more divided ama una feel tuko kimoja bado?
Honestly, I think we are very divided. And I'll put it black and white. We are like black and white, literally. And so for me, I always say that sometimes Kenyans, we can make politics too personal. Yeah, and at the end of the day, politics does not feed anyone. When I was voting, I was not given anything, a stipend, for me to go and sit on at it because I voted. There's nothing I got in return. Politics does not feed you. It is not your salary. It is not your bonus. But we are treating it like it is our bonus. So it has ended, yeah? The president has been sworn in. That is a done, it's a finished debate. You know, we can't talk about this. Let's move forward. But then in the meantime, as we are looking at things black and white, as we are more tribal than we are like country-wise, I would say that Kenyans, and I might get a lot of backlash for this, we need to stop being so emotional when it comes to politics. We need to put emotions aside and look at the economy, yeah? The president has made an amazing promise. How do we run with it from there? Because for most countries where they're really acting as a unit, like for example, the Eurozone, there's like, I love what Wangari said, there's a good and a bad. Look what happened with Greece in the Eurozone, yeah? So there's both a good and there's also a bad. Look at how well the UK is doing in comparison. So for me, I'd say let's not focus so much on the emotional part of things. I know that Kenyans, we are emotional, it's fine, I even may cry. But we need to understand at the end of the day what is going to feed you. It is this promise that has been made, so run with it.
Wouldn't one argue that at the end of the day, politics affects business? So even though we're here saying let's remove our emotions from politics, politics at the end of the day will affect business.
See, that's the thing. Somebody. I'm a Kikuyu. Somebody. Politics is not a constant. It's a variable. Politics isn't equals the economy. It's politics plus inflation, plus interest rate, plus GDP, plus per capita, plus there are all of these other variables that go into the final result of how our economy will perform. All right. So it does affect, but how much we allow it to affect is upon us.
Okay. So we also want to have to get your thoughts, or rather, we asked your thoughts on this specific conversation. And you, as always, send us your WhatsApp videos, which we always appreciate. So here's your feedback on tonight's conversation.
The 100 days he promised, he never did his work. But as per now, we see that he's improving daily by daily, and we have hopes in him.
I think the president will be able to deliver on what he promised during the inauguration. First, he should focus on uniting the people of Kenya, because now the current political situation is not pleasant to favor any development program.
I think he's going to fulfill his promises according to his speech that he held in Kasarani. So yeah, he's always been a man who lived up to his words. During his last term, we've witnessed a lot of things from him. And yeah, I think this time won't be disappointing.
Itabidi tumempea time. Tuangalie venye atafanya juu ni promises zenye alikuwa amejiwekea, amesema atafanya. Itabidi tungoje tuone kama atatimiza ama atatimiza. Juu hiyo 5 year term ndio alikuwa ametaka. Kumaanisha vitu zenye alikuwa anasema ameanzilisha hakuwa amecomplete. So nitungoje tuone kama atamaliza hizo vitu ama hapana.
Okay, so those are your feedbacks that we normally get, or that you send us via WhatsApp. Muthiora, there's something that you talked about, translating the resources. You gave a perfect example of Baringo. Do you think what we're saying is just looking good on paper, or will it trickle down to Mama Mboga and John the Piki Piki guy on stage? will they be able to feel this economic boost?
That's the $1 billion question, if I should add. This is a government that has failed us so far. They had 4.5 years. We believed in them. They gave promises that we thought were achievable. They had an opportunity to deliver. They failed. I'll say it here today. They've made another set of promises. It could just be empty talk. I don't know. I'm just hoping that they will learn from their experience. Wherever they slipped and failed before, they will try and do better. So I'm very skeptical about the promises that were given, and I hope
that, okay, Wangari, public finance, I mean, you're a public finance, you're in public finance consulting. Mama Mboga and John the Pikipiki guy, will they be able to feel this economic boost that President Uhuru Kenyatta is promising to Kenyans?
Well, that also depends on the variables. If you have an economy that has high taxes on the on the poor or the people who are not earning as much, then that would be a big problem for them. So it's really how we structure the economy. We can get a lot of income from the investments that we've gotten, but if we're not distributing them fairly and equitably, then we may have some challenges going forward. So it's really about the structures and the fundamentals that the government wants to put in place that would decrease inequalities.
Okay. Mudira, very quickly before we go to Atkona.
There's something we need to point out here, that now that they're talking that technical language, there's sleaze, corruption, wizi, ambayo already we can see. Before the swearing-in ceremony, they were talking about mounting those big screens for people who won't be able to get in. But they were never there.
Saw what happened,
You saw the mismanagement. So judging by what we've seen so far, wananchi lazima wachangamke, tuweke hii gava rada ili wa deliver services. Otherwise, hii mchezo itakuwa, after 5 years, hatutakuwa popote.